Will American Pickers no longer feature Mike Wolfe? He claimed he was merely taking a vacation, but there appears to be more to his surprising decision than that. Is it a matter of money, an unsolved crime, or something even more sinister? We have that plan for today. You may reevaluate your show viewing habits in light of the truth. Does Mike Wolfe desire a break from the show in order to increase his income? People who engage in what is commonly referred to as rusty gold hunting traverse the entire country in search of unique antiques. He has nearly 4 decades of experience in this field. Wolfe is the owner of 2 historic archaeology stores. There is one in Nashville, Tennessee, and the other is in LeClaire, Iowa. There are other stores where you can buy things under his antique archaeology name as well. Products sold in his stores can range in price from $18 to $990, depending on demand. There have been complaints from customers that the prices at Wolfe's shops are too steep. For example, they are curious as to why an old cat food sign can cost as much as $900. 0 cents. According to some reviews, the store does sell some really one-of-a-kind items, but the selection is limited. The prices were disliked by even these reviews, but his 2 stores are thriving in spite of everyone's nitpicking and criticism. Supposedly, one of them was pulling in $93,000 0 cents annually as of 2023. The store's low-risk credit score is a result of its timely bill payments, according to the Experience Business Valuation Report. In addition to his successful shops, Mike has also achieved great success with his show, American Pickers. The show was almost canceled, if you didn't know. Pickering wasn't even Mike's original job description. Mike grew up in Joliet, Illinois as the middle child of 3 siblings brought up by their single mother. From the age of 4, he has shown an interest in it. When Mike was a kid, he'd keep himself occupied by restoring bicycles that his neighbors had discarded. Instead of becoming a professional picker, Mike wasted that opportunity. His actions were divergent. He got into motorcycle racing because he thought it would be a cool job. Mike wanted to combine his passion for bikes with his interest in business, so he opened 2 bike shops. The excitement and thrill of picking, though, was something Mike had long since realized was absent. Ultimately, he decided to join the picker crew because of the thrilling lifestyle they lead. He showed signs of improvement and began to improve. Over the course of a year, he would happily drive his cargo van approximately 60,000 miles across the nation in pursuit of antique and unusual items. He finally had a breakthrough after several years of this. A business opportunity presented itself to Mike, and he jumped at the chance to increase his wealth and fame. He fantasized about a show that would feature his discoveries and was certain it would be a hit. Many businesses rejected Mike's proposals after he pitched them. However, he persisted and continued to generate fresh concepts. The History Channel initially said no, but then changed their minds after hearing him out. In 2010, the pilot episode was broadcast, and they were optimistic about the show's potential. More people watched that episode than expected. It exceeded 3. Among premieres airing between 2007 and 2010, the first one attracted 1 million viewers. The beginning had barely begun. By the time the first season ended, nearly 5 years had gone by. At Mike's vintage shop, Vintage Archaeology, 4 million viewers, ranging from 25 to 54 years old, saw him, his loyal partner Frank Fritz, who was both overweight and covered in hair, and his best friend Danielle Colby at work every week. For a decade prior to Mike conceiving of the show's concept, Colby was his closest companion. Her presence on the show was crucial due to their strong rapport. As a result of its high viewership, this program topped all new nonfiction cable TV series in 2010. Mike had become accustomed to leading a double life over the years. The latest American TV star is now him. Mike maintained a consistent income of $500,000 0 cents per season, or approximately $25 0 cents per episode, thanks to the show's devoted fan base. That sum of money is substantial. So far, there have been 26 seasons and 389 shows. How much money has Mike made over the years? You can guess. Mike invested these funds in his stores, about which we had previously spoken. He has also started other businesses, such as repairs, where he transforms old light fixtures and parts of old lighting into unique, functional furniture for homes or offices. He has also bought 13 homes. In 2011, the book American Picker's Guide to Picking was published, and in 2013, the sequel Kid Pickers was released. Even though Mike made money from all of these endeavors, he still lost around $6 million 0 cents. What happened? Why did Mike decide to step away from the show? Mike has priorities beyond financial gain. Mike created Kid Pickers as an online group for kids ranging from 7 to 13 years old to share their personal selections. On top of that, he is a big supporter of animal rescues, the American Society for Pediatric Oncology, SPCA, St. Jude's Children's Hospital, and Operation Smile. Many see Mike as a wonderful human being who selflessly prioritizes the needs of others. However, there is someone who believes Mike is alone. Even though Mike is a nice guy, he has had some rocky relationships. Charlie was born to them on September 7th, 2012, 1 year after they were married. Having been married for 8 years, they decided to end their marriage in June 2020. The divorce agreement included her filing for dissolution in the year 2021. More than $6 million 0 cents was dispersed to her by Mike. While this is unfortunate for Mike, it is not the primary motivation behind his break. This is just the beginning of his relationships with his wives. In preparation for his next major fight, Michael may be taking a vacation from the show. After 26 seasons, Mike has been a part of this show for nearly 15 years. He and Frank Fritz, who co-starred with him, continued to do the show until 2020. They traversed the United States in a Ford Transit or a Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van. Their energy and charisma made the show captivating every time. Old motorcycles, air-conditioned Volkswagens, bicycles, and penny farthings are some of Mike's favorite things. However, Fritz had a penchant for peanut items, vintage toys, oil cans, and Hondas. They combed through people's houses, barns, sheds, basements, and garages, among other locations, to find the antiques they needed. Collectors, both serious and hobby, hoarders, and those with too much stuff to sort through were the people they sought out. In their own unique ways, they were able to profit from their discoveries. Everything sold by Frank Fritz at his Savannah, Illinois store, Frank Fritz Finds, was also available on his website. Everything that Mike sold in his store was identical. They achieved their goal. Frank could tell that, despite doing most of the labor, Mike would always steal the show because of how adorable they were. Anytime they dug, Mike was the first to get down on one knee and help them haul it all. Their once present chemistry has now vanished forever. Franklin passed away on October 1, 2024. He spent some time in the hospital after suffering a stroke in July 2022. During Frank's stroke, Mike asked his followers to pray for him and added that he was joining them. Frank tragically passed away 2 years following the stroke as a result of what the medical community referred to as the stroke's long-term consequences. Frank was truly honored by Mike's heartfelt tribute. He spoke about the many things they had overcome as a couple. Frank was like any other guy, just as genuine and unassuming on and off camera, which is why Mike liked him. He went on to say that he was pleased to have shared the stage with Frank and that he would miss Frank's company. The reason why Mike's speech was deemed unreal by many fans will be discussed shortly. However, Mike waited 6 months following Frank's death to announce his departure from the show. Maybe he was missing Frank more than he realized. But why did Mike pick Rob Wolfe, his younger brother, over Frank if this were indeed the case? Additionally, upon Frank's death, why did Mike not inform everyone about the break? But Frank's departure from the show wasn't due to his death or stroke, was it? Frank endured excruciating back pain for months prior to undergoing surgery because he was always lifting heavy objects. Frank taped a few episodes before Frank was removed from the program in March 2020 following the completion of his episodes. At the time, Mike claimed that Frank had recently undergone surgery. Fans started to worry about Frank's whereabouts and returned to the show when he didn't appear for as long as expected. Mike informed them in 2021 that Frank had left the show, but until then, they didn't receive a definitive response. However, Frank's account was different. His shocking revelation that he was actually pushed out of the show rather than kicked off stunned everyone. Frank further complicated matters by claiming that Mike was involved in his dismissal from the show. How did this happen? For what reason would Mike deliberately ensure that Frank would not receive a response from the network? According to Frank, he and Mike remained incommunicado for 2 years following Mike's surgery. Mike paid no attention to his condition. Though he remained mum on the subject, Frank did imply that Mike was unhappy about Frank's rising star status on the show. Despite the show's emphasis on Mike, it appeared that he had an issue with Frank. Frank appeared to be aiming for Mike's top spot when he lost weight. Frank informed them that things weren't what they seemed and that the show was extremely intense. But Mike still thinks Frank is going to depose him from power. When asked if what Frank said in 2021 was true, Mike promptly responded that he doesn't want to clarify their friendship and is only concerned about praying for Frank's recovery. Many viewers continued to believe that Mike had fired Frank from the show because the latter's response failed to solve the issue. The number of viewers, however, remained unchanged. The show's loyal fan base persisted despite the changes. Currently, Mike takes turns taking Danielle Colby, Rob, and Jersey John and Casey's Honor expeditions to discover new things. On occasion, they would accompany Mike on his travels while he was on theirs. A man who sought attention for himself would not tolerate behavior like this. Many viewers were anticipating Mike's discovery and the reveal of whether he would be visiting a familiar or unfamiliar location in light of this fresh spin on the show's premise. It was obvious in 2023 that Mike longed for Frank's presence on the show. Upon recovering from his stroke, Mike made an appointment to see Frank. Frank had a fresh opportunity to return to the show at the time, but he couldn't take advantage of it due to his health. The days of Frank and Mike appearing on television together are over. Why does Mike really want to take a break if Frank's death is the reason he doesn't want to? Mike may be planning to take his time getting ready for another wedding. Letitia Clean and Mike were in the public eye as of August 2021. This occurred following his 2020 breakup and subsequent 2021 divorce from Jody, his ex-wife. Since then, they've been in a relationship that deviates from the norm. No, they don't share a residence. Letitia has also expressed a need for space, adding to their already heavy workload. They aren't planning to move in together just yet. However, they do reside 2 hours apart. In Cave City, Kentucky, Letitia owns and operates Ace Coffee, a well-known coffee shop. Nashville, Tennessee is Mike's home. It doesn't matter how far apart they live, they're still inseparable and do everything together. They have catered to visitors from all over the nation. They have also collaborated on an advertisement for Harley Davidson. I guess they don't always do things together because Leticia hasn't been on American Pickers at all. In addition to that, they do have one thing in common: they are not ready to tie the knot just yet. On the red carpet at the premiere of their new film, Day of Reckoning, fans wanted to know if they were planning to pop the question. They were quite forthright about the fact that they had no plans to get engaged anytime soon. They claimed to be enjoying themselves at the moment despite the challenges of their long-distance relationship. Could it be that they are about to reconsider? This could work, or it could not. Watching this unfold will be fascinating. Why is Mike taking a vacation when he has been a part of the show for 15 years? It has nothing to do with his upcoming nuptials. Success in other areas followed Mike's success on American Pickers. His upcoming show, History's Greatest Picks with Mike Wolfe, is one of them. The History Channel has already greenlit this show for an entire season. The program would chronicle Mike's quest to unearth priceless artifacts from the past and tell the fascinating stories behind them. Mike will be the one leading the group on an exploration of the museum's peculiar artifacts, rare collectibles, and hidden meanings. In a sense, Mike will be recreating the past. Similar to American Pickers, but with a far larger cast. Mike may be leaving the country soon. Although there is still much mystery surrounding the show, Mike is eager to participate and views it as an opportunity to push himself creatively. I don't understand why Mike is stepping away from American Pickers. He has been a picker for more than 30 years and has been on the show for 15 of those years. Working as a picker, Mike is interested in exploring new opportunities. Mike was asked to appear in the film Day of Reckoning, which featured a motorcycle scene, by his close friend and fellow filmmaker Sean Silva, who was aware of his passion for motorcycles. His desire to make a change was sparked by this. Being the center of attention on American Pickers made Mike initially reluctant to do anything. Despite his limited vocabulary, he was filled with anxiety about fulfilling his role. One would think that Mike would have been prepared after all those years of filming and discovering new locations in pursuit of picks, but he wasn't so sure. Mike was correct to take the role, despite the fact that it was completely out of his comfort zone. Working with Billy Zane, who according to Mike taught him the ropes of acting, was a major draw. In your opinion, would Mike be a fantastic actor? Could he potentially land more speaking roles? Mike was completely taken aback by Sean's vibrant energy. What Mike saw has opened his eyes to more opportunities in Hollywood. Mike isn't limited to his interest in Hollywood. He welcomes new experiences with open arms. After so much time with American Pickers, it's natural for Mike to want a vacation. But what if, after all this time, Mike changes his mind and decides he doesn't want to go back to the show he's worked so hard to create? Is there any impact on his other co-stars from this? What would happen if he left? Would they continue the show or find someone else? Love it or hate it, Mike may be considering a complete career change, and while that's fantastic, his fans should be prepared. Mike might have already decided on his final item.